Ceann Comhairle. Minister, I was looking for you to update the House regarding the ongoing review for those in receipt of contributory pensions since 2012 and when you expect the reviews to be complete, and maybe just to give us an overall, obviously people all around the country have got those letters about the review, and it would be good to get an update as to where the process is at now.
Thanks, Chair. Ceann Comhairle, I might actually attempt to finish on a positive note, if that's worth anything. And I want to thank you, Deputy Hayden, because you've had a particular interest in representing, in the main, the women in Kildare for the last number of months until we get this over the line. In late September, following what was a phased recruitment of over 70 temporary staff, the examination of the 79,000 individual social insurance records of pensioners identified for the review commenced. The work is going to continue until the end of the year, and given that we're very, very nearly close to that, at the end of this week, I would expect it to be coming to an end at the end of this week. The number for review will increase weekly as the new non-maximum rate state pension contributory claims are awarded. And the information letters have issued to these 79,000 pensioners to let them know that their social insurance record is being examined. And once the legislation is enacted, and actually it was enacted yesterday, Ceann Comhairle, my department are going to commence the reviews and calculate exactly the pension entitlements under the new interim total cons approach. And as the reviews are processed, the pensioners involved will be notified of their outcome of their review, or if it isn't as obvious to us because we have gaps in their payment records, they'll be asked to provide further information to allow the review to be concluded. Where the review results in a rate increase, the weekly rate of payment will be adjusted and the arrears that are owed to them will be backdated to March the 30th of 2018 or the pensioner's 66th birthday if it came after the 30th of March 2018. And where an increase is not awarded, the personal rate of the pensioner will remain unchanged. And given the numbers involved, I expect that it will take my department a number of months to work through all of the claims to be reviewed and to give a final award and settlement to the people who are successful. And the work on the reviews will continue until all of the identified personnel have been notified of their review outcome. I hope that gives up to date.
Thank the Minister for the response, Ceann Comhairle. And just to say, so when do you expect the first of the decisions? Obviously, the whole process will take months, and the last of the people will be a number of months before they get it. And I'm sure difficult cases where you're trying to access information will take that a little bit longer. But in the main, as a huge bulk, will some people expect to get confirmation of decisions in January, February? And do you think we get through quite a few in the first part of that year? You know, I keep asking these questions because there is a huge level of interest there. People, because up until when the letters came, they probably doubted this was actually really happening, and to know for sure that it is, and that it is going to be backdated to last March, is really important for those people. So if we could just give a broad outline of when you think the first decisions will be made and how many you might get through in those first few months. I know 79,000 is not an insignificant amount of people to get through for you and your officials.
Yeah, thank you. And don't apologise for asking the questions, because I doubt there's a TD in this House that doesn't meet women at the weekend and ask the same question, because I know I certainly do. The 79,000 people that would have received a letter, of those 79,000, we already have completed social insurance records for probably about 55,000 of them. So there'll be no need for us to interact with about 55,000 of those pensioners. And so that'll be automated. So obviously you can't automate everything on day one. So it'll start in January, and people will start to receive notification week by week as we go through them and complete them. And I would expect it to start in January. Where people have gaps in their records, they're also very clear and obvious to us. And so those people will get a letter asking us to log on to our mywelfare.ie page to fill in those gaps, or to contact obviously their local office and to give us those gaps. So I think it'll become very evident early in 2019 that people will start to receive not only their increased payments but also their backdated payments to March 2018. But also those people who do have gaps where we can't explain, maybe we have a year missing contributions in 1972 or 1979 and we have no obvious explanation because we can't match it with the PPS number of a child that was born in the same year. And we've done all that work, and so we've done all the preparatory back office work where we can with individuals, and that's how we've been able to provide complete records for some 55,000 people. Where we don't have those complete records, we will contact people very early in the new year and ask them to come forward. So you will see movement, but also just to reassure people that if somebody's at home and they don't get a letter and they don't get a payment and it's the middle of February, not to worry. We did take on 70 new staff to do this, but there are 79,000 individual records, and obviously we've allocated for January, February and March.
That concludes questions. I'm afraid time is up. We must move now to